What's up everyone? I'm James Conrad with Team MVP. This is my 2025 In the Bag. We're coming towards the end of the Europe stretch right now, so I've had a somewhat similar bag kind of all summer. I did bring a good handful of extra discs, but my bag stayed pretty similar. I've been using the James Conrad Signature Voyager bag. I've been loving this thing. It's pretty easy to fit on airplanes. I can fit 20 to 22 discs pretty comfortably. I'm not even sure how many right now. I think right in that range. I can load it up with plenty of extras, but yeah, this thing's been treating me well. I'll start with the putters. I got 4 Nomads in the bag. Right now this orange one's been my main putter. One of the special edition ones back from, I always loved that stamp. Yeah, such a cool one. But I got a purple and a gray one. These are kind of just practice putters. This is the one I've been leaning on. And then I've had this blue one in the bag for a long time. This one I sometimes putt with. It's more of like a touch approach shot disc. Definitely on the understable side. One of my favorite discs to throw. It's just super like slow and flippy, and I can just throw it really nose up and yeah, get some really like controlled landings out of this disc. So those are my Nomads. I think I also have 4 Envies in the bag right now, kind of a range of stabilities. I have one of these commemorative yellow and blue ones. This one's also very understable. This one and that blue Nomad have somewhat similar flights. I think this might be a little faster, kind of like flips a little harder and a little faster, so a little less touchy, but good for like power flip up, late left to right shots. It's kind of my forehand disc. Not actual forehands, but on a forehand shot, yeah, you get it. I have 3 premium Envies in the bag. This is probably my #1 go-to. It's an old 2021 MVP Open stamp where I'm kind of on there going, hey. It's pretty funny, but yeah, this one just flies great. It's super neutral, it's very straight. I can hit it with a little bit of hyzer. It just kind of stands up to straight and pushes, and it goes far too. I've had a couple where I was like OB long, like probably threw it 440 feet or something crazy with a little bit of tailwind. So sometimes got to watch out for that, but this one flies so well. This one's similar, it's a soft neutron Envy. This one's more overstable, so if I'm looking for more of a hyzer shot or maybe even a little bit of a flex line, I'll go for this one. And this soft neutron Envy is very similar flying to this one, but just a little fresher. So I kind of have a whole range from the Electron is kind of flippy, that beat-in premium, super neutral, and then a little overstable and really overstable. So kind of got a whole range of Envies there. And yeah, those are my main discs for, you know, anything that like 250 to 320 range, sometimes pushing that a bit further. I have one other putter in the bag. This kind of comes and goes, but I believe it's a plasma entropy. So especially if the wind picks up, sometimes even the Envies don't quite hold up in the wind, or for like hard like flex shots, short range though. Entropy is a great disc, super overstable. Moving on to the mids. I traditionally don't bag a ton of mids. Right now, 4 is like a lot for me, kind of. But I got a nice range here. I'll start on the understable side. I have a Detour. This thing's super fun to throw. I almost just keep it in my bag just for the fun factor, like just some crazy hyzer flips and really glidey shots. It's honestly kind of rare that I throw it much on tour courses. I feel like it's almost like a trick shot, you know, just the corkscrew, unwinding, hyzer flip. It's so fun to throw, but not usually going to be like the most predictable or consistent shot that I can bag. But some of the courses we've been playing in Europe do have room for that like really late flipping mid-range kind of shot. Might throw it some out at the Monster at Tampere Disc Golf Center. So the Total Eclipse Hex, I've been digging these the last year or so. I find them to be slightly overstable when they're new. And they really go far for a mid. I can really hammer it on a line. I'm not getting much like flip up out of a fresh one, but yeah, it's a good disc. This one's actually brand new. My last one maybe took a chunk or something and got a little squirrely on me, so I'm trying to work in a fresh one, see how this goes. I've got a Pyro in the bag. This one's been in and out of my bag for quite a few years, so it's not, it's well seasoned, we'll say that. And it's still super torque resistant without being that overstable, so that's a really nice combo for me. I can hammer it even into the wind and it'll just fly super straight for me. Yeah, I get like a similar flight out of this Pyro, maybe compared to this Envy, like where it's overstable, but it's not really gonna hook up a lot, so it can handle power, it can handle a bit of wind. Super predictable straight flyer for me. Then a step up from that, Pyro is this balance. Yeah, this thing is definitely more stable than my Pyro. I get some really good flex lines out of it. I can throw really nice like stall hyzers with it. Not a lot of distance on like a pushing hyzer though, just kind of gets to the ground quick. Moving on from the mids, I've been digging a few fairway drivers. I don't have a huge lineup of them right now, but I've been liking the Relay a lot. This thing, it's not like a staple in my bag necessarily, but on certain courses, I can get some really good uses out of this. 6.5 -2.1, so it's not the fastest, but really nice and understable, really good for hyzer flip ups. Again, a lot of holes that people might just kind of default to like a stock forehand. That's not something I'm probably going to throw, so sometimes I have to get creative with an understable fairway driver. Relay's a good one for that for me. And this Volt is definitely my most thrown fairway driver. I've had this in the bag a long time. Yeah, it was one of my, I think the Champion James was, I think my very first stamp with MVP back in 2021, so always some good memories to see that stamp, to pull that out of the bag. And yeah, even though I've had this one in the bag a long time, it still has a lot of integrity. It still really holds up to a lot of power. I can get super straight flights out of it. I can throw, yeah, kind of any type of shot with it. If I put on hyzer, it'll just get really nice slow hyzers. I can throw super straight. I can throw big annies with it. So really workable disc, and I get a lot of distance out of it, but still I'm able to kind of keep it in control, and really good if there's like OB I'm having to worry about. A lot of times I'll disc down to that Volt, just make sure I put the disc in play. And for an overstable, I've been liking the Terra lately. A lot of times I use Fireball kind of for that slot, but for whatever reason, some of the Fireballs were acting a little squirrely on me, and I felt like these Terras were just kind of rock solid. I can hammer it on a little Annie, get a predictable fade. I don't get much distance out of the Terra, but if the wind's up or if I need that specific shape, this is definitely my go-to right now. And speeding up a little, I've got 3 Trails in the bag right now. Trail's another one of my favorite discs to throw. It's another that certain courses I might not really touch it at all, but yeah, out here in Europe I've been getting a lot of mileage out of them. I kind of have a range, probably from least to most stable. So this is one of the Protos. I've been bagging this since must have been, yeah, early last year. Definitely like started on quite a bit of hyzer, and it should get to flat, maybe even pull a little bit right for me. This green one I'm getting a lot more neutral flights out of. Still a hyzer flip type disc. Doesn't really hold up well to like a full power, like flat to Annie release for me. But a really fresh one I can get, I'd say I can hit it super flat, and it's not really gonna like pull too hard right. Maybe just a little bit of a flex right and a little fade. These fresh ones are also awesome for like a really full power shot with a lot of hyzer release, because they'll be trying to fight their way up to flat but never quite get there, so they'll just continue moving left and forward for the entire flight. And it's such a different shape than like a hyzer with an overstable disc that you just kind of hammer and then fall left at the end. That pushing hyzer is really good to have in the bag, and I find the Trail to be the best for it. Moving on to the high-speed drivers. I'm only bagging 2 molds right now. I have time lapse and I have Mayhem. So the time lapse are definitely more overstable. They definitely don't quite fly as far for me as these Mayhems, but they're definitely a little more predictable. And I feel like, yeah, for me a stock shot with this would be to hammer it flat and hard, and it'll push about 400 feet and then fade out, maybe like 4 to 450 kind of distance range. So not a ton for how hard I can throw. Not a ton of distance, but super predictable finish, and yeah, just something that you need, especially if the wind's up a little bit. Something you can depend on to not just roll over in the wind, and good for spike hyzers, anything like that. For max distance, I've been digging the Mayhems though. 13, 5, -1, 2. And yeah, I guess it must have been early this year that I think Joey might have been the one that kind of turned me onto them. I know Paul Kranz was hyping them up early in the year, and I think a lot of us got our hands on them, have just really been digging them. Super easy distance out of this. Can handle a lot of power. I wouldn't say it's overstable, but it's just kind of neutral. And yeah, if I'm throwing this, it means I'm like looking to get as far down the fairway as I can, and I'm probably going to be hitting it on a bit of hyzer with a good bit of air under it to give it time to kind of work right and then fade left. Yeah. All right, so that's an empty bag of discs, but dang, still must be a lot of stuff in there. Number one, water, most important. Let's see. What do I got in here? These are my favorite type of towels. They're like a chamois. It's kind of like, almost feels like leather. They're kind of in like the card detailing section. This one's kind of gross right now, but I feel like these things are maybe underrated towels. They really work. Even once they get wet, they still dry your disc somehow. I got some almonds in here, honey roasted. I usually go for like the wasabi ones, but I didn't see those. Getting a little protein, get something with a lot of flavor. I think that can be good on a little backup. A couple other snacks in here, some kind of cranberry bar, I'm not sure. Yeah, phone, obviously important. Always doing the live scoring. Got another one of these chamois towels. Yeah, 2 of those. I'm like not sweating it. Even if it's supposed to rain all day and I don't have an umbrella, if I have a couple of those in my bag, I'm pretty much chilling. Mini, I've got 2 pretty similar minis right now, and they're my favorites. I've had them both for a long time. This one's from the Preserve. Kale hooked me up with this back in, must have been 2020, so I've held onto this one for quite a long time. Yeah. Oh, here's my other mini. Like I said, it's similar. Same one. I think they're both Treasures of the Forest. This one was pretty cool because Jordan found, it's kind of hard to see, it's gotten cloudy, but Jordan found these 4-leaf clovers out on courses on tour and sent them to the guy Matt, and he custom made that mini for him. So those are my 2 minis, and yeah, that pretty much is it for my bag. That pretty much wraps up the disc in my bag this year, so thanks for watching.